I'm going to bring this up, turn this down, and hello, we're live. Welcome to the Big Four. I am Austin.
I am Grayson.
And I'm Ricky. We're actually missing someone today.
And we're down to member, had a casualty.
Pouring out for our fallen comrade, has the flu, is currently recovering.
Yeah, I haven't seen him, but apparently he's disgusting.
By the
Well,
way,
I mean, he's always disgusting. It's just whether or not he's, like, physiologically disgusting.
Ouch, I hope he doesn't hear this.
you better be listening, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, you better be. Someone should message him that.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go ahead and talk about whatever the heck y'all want to talk about. We've lost all of the meaning now that Jake's gone.
The carry isn't here, so it's literally just the extras now, right?
Yeah, the talent. That's what we've always called him. We've always called him the talent.
Yeah, Jake is obviously the talent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys want to start with hockey? Because I know you two were excited about that starting last night.
Oh, did that start?
Oh.
Well, that's crazy. I can't believe that started. Did it really?
Yeah,
I wasn't even aware.
I had no clue.
Thanks, Ricky.
Yeah,
No
I
problem,
can't believe I
guys.
missed
I
opening
mean,
night.
someone's got to look out for you, right? Like, I know you two are you don't watch sports at all.
Yeah.
You just all you do is like read about it, so you're not really you're not really updated on what's going on. So
I don't even like sports. I just like I like words.
Me too, man. Wait.
Wait.
All right, so yeah.
All right, you're
talk
gonna
about
talk
last
about
night. Yeah.
Yeah. The Capitals won by a touchdown over the Bruins.
Yep.
Close
A
game.
whole 7-0. That was a smattering.
It was a close game within the first 14 seconds.
Yeah. In the
Actually,
first
not really, because Washington dominated from the puck drop.
No, to be fair, I think that Boston won that faceoff. And actually, this is not a joke. Boston won most of the faceoffs. They won like a vast majority of those faceoffs. I think it was over 80%,
Wow.
which is not right. It doesn't
Speaking
feel
of
right.
80%, Washington's power play.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was they were their first. I think it was their first 4-for-4 power plays that got goals, which is stupid.
That is unbelievable, actually.
Their penalty kills 100% too.
So what were they like? Did they finish 4 for 5?
I think they finished 4 for 6.
4 for 6.
That's
Terrible.
really slacking.
Terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's honestly just awful, right?
I mean, yeah, and they put Evgeny Kuznetsov on their penalty kill, and it looked fantastic. He looked amazing there. He looked so good, so stinking good, and he had I think 2 good shots at a breakaway goal, and it was great. But who else was I gonna?
Didn't the Sharks play last night?
The Sharks did.
Sharks did play last night. They lost 5-2 to the Ducks.
Wait, before we move on to that
That's
game,
alright.
I want to give you one cool statistic.
Uh-oh.
Brad Marchand, he ended up the evening with 17 penalty minutes, which was more than his time on ice, or 19 penalty minutes, which was more than his time on ice. He ended off the night with more penalty minutes than time on ice. And how fitting is that?
That's really nice.
He got off
Really
of
nice.
one hit, he got 12 minutes.
That's right. That was the fight with Wilson. Or not with Wilson. That was the fight with Lars.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it a fight as much as I would call it assault, but he started hitting him before his gloves were off, and I was like, dude, that's brutal. Lars Eller, that was his first career fight.
How do you do?
Not great. He ended up with a lot of blood on his face.
Well,
We just found out he's going to play tonight against Pittsburgh, but I mean, it
And he
just
better
felt
have
not
blood
great.
on his face after tonight, too.
Welcome to the Bigs, I guess, right?
Yeah, Sidney Crosby's. All right, let's talk about that Sharks game. Let's move out of the Metro, and I'm going to let Grayson talk about that Sharks game.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a pretty entertaining game, other than the third period. The 2 goals that the Sharks did score, highlight reels, both made SC top 10.
And that hurdle one.
Awesome. The
We watched that
biggest
this morning.
issue they had last night was goaltending.
Yeah.
Martin Jones led a lot of shots by him.
Did he get pulled?
No, he didn't. I don't believe. I didn't watch the third period. I was tired. But I don't think it's any time to worry for San Jose. You still have 2 Norris Trophy winners on your defensive line. Joe
Little bit.
Thornton's still kind of getting used to skating with about 50 pounds off of his face.
Are you telling me you wouldn't hit the panic button after one game into the season, Grayson?
Some people would.
It's actually
would?
wild that some people would. That's incredible.
Yeah, Joe Thornton hasn't skated without a beard like that it's been a while.
Has it really? I have no clue.
I don't know when the last time he was that shaven. Like, look at his, like when he first got sent to San Jose, maybe. But then he's always had a little something. Then he went mega
Full beard.
beard. And now he's back up to baby beard.
What do you think about Joe Thornton's beard?
I don't know. I haven't seen Joe Thornton's beard, but
Oh yeah.
as someone that actually, can grow a beard, which I believe I'm the only person in the room capable of saying that.
Yeah. I can grow facial hair, not a beard.
Sort of.
What do you mean? It gets pretty long. It doesn't look good, but it gets long.
All right, listen. Okay, anyway, the effect of facial hair on how you play and how you feel is pretty negligible.
What? Is that science?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's science.
Okay.
I got my doctorate in examining the effects of facial hair on a. Ooh, that is
his beard.
Nice.
That is a good beard.
That is nice.
That is a delicious beard.
Yeah. Anyway, I got my doctorate in studying the effects of facial
and
hair.
And then he shaved it all off. Don't tell me there's no imbalance there.
I mean, listen, he's probably over it by now. Like, honestly, I used to have long hair and I got it cut, and immediately after I stepped out of the chair, I felt kind of woozy, but I got over it pretty quickly.
You felt kind of woozy.
I'm sure like a world-class athlete like Joe Thornton isn't going to care about having his beard off after an extended period of time.
Whoa, he called Joe Thornton world-class.
I mean,
he's an NHL player, dude. NHL players are maybe the second best athletes in professional sports.
7 years old.
Football?
No, I think basketball players are better athletes than football players.
Whoa. I don't know about that.
Okay, but why?
I mean, you have to be very well-rounded to play football. You have to be strong and fast.
You don't have to be to play basketball?
I mean, you do.
Not only that, hey, look at it this way. There are rules for how you move in basketball with the ball. And we still allow people like Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Russell Westbrook to do the things that they do, attacking the basket. They're also 6'3". They're bigger than a large amount of football players. They have to move a lot more than a large amount of football players.
All right.
The hand-eye coordination required to do a lot of what they do is unreal.
Maybe.
And that's a part of athleticism.
Sure.
There was another hockey game on last night.
There was 2 more.
Yeah, but like one important one.
I don't know. I think both were really telling. I think both had significant features. Which one do you want to talk about first, East or West?
Canadians.
All right, we're going to talk about the Canadiens game. That one was important because the Canadiens showed up. They've looked good in the preseason, and it actually carried over into the regular season against the Maple Leafs. Let me say that one more time. The Toronto Maple Leafs. And they looked good.
They did, but so did Austin Matthews.
And one John Tavares goal, assisted by Nazem Kadri on the power play, I think.
Apparently he caught a shot. He said he was going to score in that rush, and he did.
That makes it worth a little bit more. That's worth 2 goals, I'm pretty sure, if you call your shot before you make it.
That is how they tally it.
Yeah.
But, oh, jeez, what was I saying?
Talking about Canadians.
Yeah. I think the Canadians looked really good in the regular season, the preseason, and I think that might actually carry over, and they won't finish last in their division. I mean, they were never going to finish last.
So they're going to finish second to last then, right?
No, that's where they were projected to finish. Okay. I think they could finish above Carolina if they play like that. And Carolina, I think, got better, too. Wait, Carolina's in the Metro. Who am I thinking of? Buffalo. Sorry, Buffalo. I thought Buffalo was going to finish above the Canadians. And now I think they could finish above Buffalo easily. Who's that other team that I'm missing in there?
Like bad team?
Atlanta Thrashers.
Nope, they don't quite
exist. I know they don't exist anymore.
Just a little bit. I got a fun stat for you.
All right.
The Panthers or the Red Wings?
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Red Wings are in the Central, bud. Oh, no, they aren't. That's right.
The Central's the West.
Yeah, they were in the Central for years. I'm just stupid. Like, years and years and years they were in the Central. Why do you think they're rivals with the Colorado?
You know what? The Lightning. They're going to be down there.
Yeah, the Lightning probably sick.
Definitely Lightning.
They're not going to be President's Trophy winners or whatever. Yeah, no, but I think the Canadians can finish third to last, which is saying a lot after how they've been just stockpiling draft picks. Yeah. Kotkaniemi looks great. It looks like it was a steal at number 3 so far. I mean, obviously Darlene's going number 1, but Svechnikov, he looks good, but he doesn't look Kotkaniemi good. And I don't know if that's just because Kotkaniemi is doing really well at adapting to NHL ice, but he looks fantastic. He didn't tally last night, I don't think, but I did the game recap, and I think he looks sharp.
Yeah.
So, take that.
A lot of new faces.
Yeah,
Played well last night.
Do you know how many people in that Montreal roster were there like 3 years ago? Like 5 years ago?
2?
Carey Price and Galchenyuk, maybe?
I think it's literally 2. Those 2. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Wouldn't call it nice. It's something.
I'd call it nice if I'm trying to rebuild.
I don't think the first 3 or 4 years were really a rebuild.
Oh, okay.
I think they were just kind of like...
They're just bad.
Yeah. I mean, they made the playoffs like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
They made the. Did they?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that they made the playoffs.
Did they make the playoffs in 2016? I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think it was 2015. It was the last time they did. But okay, let's go to the West because I feel like that the Toronto still looked good. They still looked very good. Montreal just looked better than we thought, which is important and significant. But that Canucks game, whoo, they really gave the Flames a thrashing. I said the Thrasher a flame, not a team. But no, I mean 5-2. The Canucks expected to be like maybe third worst in the league. And I thought Calgary was going to be pretty decent. And I still think they are going to be pretty decent. James Neal, I think, was a great pickup. But that really took me off guard. I didn't expect it to be that imbalanced. Jay Beagle tallied an assist. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Flames have to find scoring outside of Gaudreau.
And
He's
Neal.
led the team in scoring for the past 2 years.
Well, Matthew Tkachuk put one up. Good for him.
Yeah.
Future American hero.
I mean, James Neal was a
Future
good
American
acquisition.
hero.
That was a big loss
Him
to
and his brother.
Vegas and a good add to play alongside like Monahan and Gaudreau.
Who'd you say?
Did I say it wrong? Monahan?
No. Sorry. Who did something of Vegas? I missed.
I
what you
said like James Neal was
yes.
a key departure for Vegas, and I think it'll be good for the Calgary to play beside Monahan and
I mean, I
Gaudreau.
think yeah, definitely the biggest pickup of the offseason by any team.
yeah, definitely.
100%. It was a boring offseason in hockey.
It really
so-
was.
So boring.
I think Jake was trying to like hype up the hockey offseason too. To me, because I'm used to like the NBA offseason, which is always like the
Oh
most
my goodness.
lit festivity in sports.
It
It was
ki-
just ridiculous because this was the most. I don't want to say like sought out, but this was the most talented free agent hockey's probably ever seen with John Tavares. Like making like hockey's never had a decision
yeah,
like this big before.
yeah, especially with the 8-year versus 7-year that he could have got. He could have gotten 8 years with the Islanders because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
drafted him. I think I told you this,
Yeah, you told me about this.
but I mean, I can't think of another. Was Kovalchuk traded?
I mean, either way, I think Tavares is.
I mean, yeah, Tavares is better than Kovalchuk, but I mean, still, like Kovalchuk's a big one. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, where he was that big. I mean, John Tavares is probably what 5th best at his position, which is saying something because there's 4 times 31 centers in the league, give or take. I mean,
Yeah, he's
give.
up there.
It's actually interesting to me about the Tavares thing, opting for 7 years versus 8 years. You're seeing this more in the NBA now, where really good players will take shorter contracts since they're not actually losing any like percentage of their money on the contract. So one of the big deals about him signing an 8-year contract in the NBA, if it was a qualifying offer from a team that could offer him like a theoretical supermax in the NBA, it'd be like 40 mil a year as opposed to like 35 if he went to the open market. So it'd be like 40 mil for 5 years or like 35 for 40 mil for 5 or 35 for 4. If it was the NBA, but in the NHL they don't have that, right? Like he's getting the same amount of money every year. So if he hits the
Well,
open market,
It can
like-
it's the same base salary, but the incentives can fluctuate.
yeah, the incentives can fluctuate obviously, but like if he hits the open market at an earlier age, he's more likely to get another long-term contract.
Yeah,
depending on how he is.
which is the key in hockey.
Yeah,
And
So-
he got 7 years at 12.5 million, which is a lot for hockey. A lot. That's a lot.
okay.
That's a lot of dough.
Yeah. How old is Tavares?
You know how many sets of
How
old is
old?
Tavares?
I think he's 29.
you know how
Let me
many
look.
sets of Toronto Maple Leafs bed sheets you could buy with that?
Do you know how
He's
many sets of
28.
Toronto Maple Leafs
28.
bed sheets you could buy with that, Grayson?
A lot.
So can you imagine John Tavares as a 4th line center at 35? That looks good.
Making 12.5 million a year.
I mean, yeah, but still.
I'm
I
assuming
mean-
he's not going to be making that at 45.
Yeah, he'd be making a little less. I think he dips down to like 10. That's still a lot. And I mean, when they in 2022, when the Players Association goes starts throwing punches at the league again, which happens every 8-10 years.
Yeah, it's like an
It
Olympics.
seems
Yeah.
like they have like labor strikes pretty often. Like there's a lot of constant back and forth in the league between the
It's-
owners and the players.
I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. I think it's a lot of that is to do with mainly 2 factors. Number one, they're trying to increase parity.
Okay.
So you have to bring down that salary cap, get it manageable. At 82 million, every team can afford to hit that salary cap.
All right.
Every team can shell out that money. So putting it too much higher means other teams like Arizona, for example, probably the prime example, maybe Buffalo,
Phoenix.
can't. Arizona Coyotes. Oh, Phoenix. Yeah. I do that all the time, don't I?
Wait, what?
The Phoenix. No, it's
No, it
Arizona.
is Arizona.
Yeah, it is Arizona.
Oh, it is Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona Coyotes.
You had me think. I know you took advantage of me because I do that all the time. But Arizona and Buffalo, those are two prime examples where they don't bring in a ton of dough. And to pay those players, that's a huge toll. But you can also increase parity, although they both suck. So bad example, but whatever. But then
I mean, good
also,
example for the market, but
yes,
Yeah.
good example for the market, not for the quality of parity in the AHL, which is unparalleled for any league.
I mean, if you give Buffalo 82 million, they would just give Jack Eichel about 70 of it.
Dialing the other 12. But yeah.
We need to get players.
Yeah, you just need two good ones. That's a fact. But also the Players Association has a ton of power, like more than any league, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, they do some damage.
It's finding that balance between being able to pay your players a lot of money, what they want to be played, and having a salary cap that works for all teams. So finding that balance is tough, and sometimes you lose an entire season. 2005.
Yeah,
But-
I mean that obviously feels terrible, right? Because you don't want to just not have a product for an entire season.
I mean, yeah, and that's only happened once in 2004, 2005. And then 2012, we lost, 22 games?
Yeah, I believe.
So 22 games isn't terrible. It sucks. But, I mean, like, as long as anybody can be happy.
I
And
just remember the NBA labor strike in 2000. I want to say 13.
how many games
that
it
was
We
that,
didn't
that
ta-
was
we didn't start until Christmas.
yeah. I remember they
They
That was
really
like-
abbreviated the season. I think they only played something like 50 games.
we said 2013.
Yeah, it was about 2013. Because I remember it was like the start of the Lob Clippers or the
Because
Lob City
it
Clippers
was
era or something.
recently after the Mavericks had won the championship. Because I
Yeah.
saw something. It's like, what is Dirk gonna do? And he doesn't have a job, and it's like he's gonna help people get stuff off the top shelf.
Dirk's gonna do literally whatever he wants because that man had probably already made like $100 million plus as an NBA player prior to that, and is a literal legend in Germany.
Yes, he is.
Do you want to move on to Tom Wilson now?
Yeah, we'll talk about him real quick.
Should have kept a setup.
Well, oh, my God. That's a call out.
That's such a like a fallacy, dude.
Well, I don't know if you've watched that video, but his head was 1,000% up. So
I haven't seen the hit at all. I just know that it was apparently really bad, and Tom Wilson got suspended for 20 games.
you
Which
want to see it?
I'll pass.
No, you can see it. I'll show you.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
I mean, the suspension is obviously just based on what he did. Like, if that was a single incident with Tom Wilson,
If that was TJ Oshie.
yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have gotten 20 games. But the suspension was just the fact that it is Tom Wilson, and they act like NBCSN has graphics of his suspension history. The 20 games, I'm not mad about it. I'm okay with it.
In the past year, this season that just started and the last season, since last season's preseason, he's been suspended 4 times.
That's
I
incredible.
think that's a record.
I
Like
respect that.
legitimately,
He
he's.
knows what he's about.
I mean, he's barely scored more goals than he's had games he's been suspended.
He just needs to.
But that's also because in his first few years they didn't want him to score. That wasn't his role. So I think that's an important thing to note. But still, it's a fact.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot of time and time again out of him, and we get it. You can say it's the way he plays, but you just got to be smart.
I mean, it is the way he plays, but he has to somehow reconcile that with the fact that you can't hit people in the head on open ice.
Yeah,
It's fine. I mean, it's a brutal hit. It really
it's
is.
savage. He like clotheslines him, dude.
That's not even close to his worst hit. But I mean,
You can't just do stuff like that.
yeah, no, in open ice, that's not cool.
During
I
a
mean,
preseason game.
and you looked at and during a preseason, not a preseason
Yeah, that's
game,
not even a
the
regular
last preseason game.
Literally a meaningless game, and you're endangering this dude's livelihood for no reason other than you feel like it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's the thing. That's like a good example for this would be Ndamukong Suh, who had a really big history of dirty play in the NFL during the start of his career, right? And it's like you look at some of his suspensions, like he could spend, I want to say, for like 6 games at one point, which seems like kind of extreme, but after a point,
you
like,
have
if
to send that message.
Yeah, that's the point. So you got to send the message. Like, you repeatedly do this. Like, you can't just look at every single.
Like, is it going to take me taking away about a fourth of your season?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
we'll-
you can't look
we'll
at every
see.
single action in a vacuum and just act accordingly.
Well, and $1.2 million. He's losing $1.2 million. That's an important.
1.2
a lot of
repeating
money.
$1 million?
No, it cuts off at some point, but he's losing a lot of money, like a lot of money. But I think I don't know. He deserved to be suspended. He needs to find that balance, and he needs to do it soon because he's a top line talent and he has that upside. He really does. He can produce a 30-goal season.
So I don't think anyone is going to try to ask him to change the way he plays necessarily. You just got to be smart.
You got to be smarter. I mean, like taking dumb hits like that, where it was very easy to hit his body. And that would have been fine. It would have been a brutal hit, but a completely legal one that would result in no suspension. Would he have gotten hurt? Maybe. Would he have gotten a concussion? Probably not. That's the big difference. I mean, if you look pictures of Yaskin's face after Tom Wilson hit him, I mean, it was brutal. It looked disgusting. I mean, he really got him. But
they keep doing stuff like that, even if it is hockey.
No, and
Tom Wilson is one of my favorite players. I own his jersey. I really love watching him play. I don't like watching him do that. And I don't like watching him sit 20 games out.
When this is
it needs to stop. I mean, and it's not the league's fault. It's Tom's fault.
When you're going into your 5th year in the league, too.
You should know better by now. That's the thing. You've been suspended like 1 million times.
You can't play the youth card. But all right, let's move on. We talked about a lot of hockey. I mean, it was opening day, so give me that. Some good games tonight.
To see it back.
We get to see Vegas play Philly. We get to see Caps play the Pens. Some good games here and there, but there's another one that I can't think of, but it looked good. All right, what do you guys want to talk about next?
Going over to the NFL, we got a game tonight in that too. We got games in
You take point on this, Ricky.
3 major sports tonight. All right,
we have a game tonight.
What was that?
Do we really have a game tonight?
No.
Yeah, in the NFL, we got Colts Patriots.
Take it away, Ricky.
All right, so we got the continued legend building of Patrick Mahomes. He had a really, really quiet game on Monday night against the Broncos. Threw his 14th touchdown of the year in Week 4. Led the Broncos to led the Chiefs to a really nice game-winning drive over the Broncos. Had a rushing touchdown, passed for a pretty decent amount of yards. I don't think threw a pick. I think he still has no picks on the year.
I don't think he does, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He actually completed a left-handed shovel pass.
Oh, my God. Can we talk about
while he was getting dragged down by Von Miller?
It wasn't just a shovel pass. Like, he had Von Miller's... He was running the wrong way.
Yeah.
Had Von Miller on his tail, and he threw that like a basketball. He didn't shovel pass it. He, like, threw it. He, like, curled his hand. It was fantastic.
So, I don't know how much... Like, I've played Madden. One of the things that I hate doing is rolling out to the wrong side for my quarterback if it's, like, the non-throwing arm. So, if I'm a right-handed QB, I don't want to roll out to my left because I got to, like, turn around and reposition myself before I can throw. Otherwise, my throw is going to be garbage. Patrick Mahomes is like, screw it. I'm just gonna chuck this, like, 8 yards with my left arm while I'm getting annihilated by Von Miller, who's still like the 3rd best pass rusher in football.
I mean,
and it worked.
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked brilliantly. That's the thing. I mean, that's also it was right on the money. It was a little wobbly, but Tyreek Hill, he gets paid the big bucks to catch it.
Yeah.
So
honestly, like,
and I mean, just watching him like just warm up and like watching that 80-yard just like effortless
he's
bomb.
Like, what if I just try to throw this out of the stadium?
He was just like, and it's 80 yards.
Yeah.
It's like watching Aaron Judge in batting practice.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. That's a fantastic analogy. I mean, yeah, that's a great analogy.
Going off Patrick Mahomes, we're now at the quarter mark in the season. We've played through 4 weeks for everyone. Week 5 starts tonight.
Yes, so excited.
Well, actually, no. Some teams have buys.
I mean,
2 weeks of buys.
That doesn't count. Let's go by aggregate.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes is the MVP frontrunner right now, right? Chiefs are 4-0. He's the best QB in the league, arguably, right now. He's playing like it.
Undoubtedly. Melo wouldn't agree, but...
Well, I mean, that's okay. I think he's due for some regression, but that's an entirely separate conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if we're handing out awards now...
We haven't seen this from the other quarterbacks who have regressed heavily, like Dak or Deshaun. Although I'm not sure you can call Deshaun Watson regressing. Defense has figured him out, and he's got to figure that out too.
His offensive line needs to figure it out.
That too, but
I mean, because if he stayed on this pace, he'd have 56 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's on pace to 56 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it can't. But here's the thing. I mean, I don't think we've seen this initial output from any quarterback who's going to regress.
Nope.
So, I mean, he's going to regress, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as significant as a lot of other quarterbacks, young quarterbacks.
Yeah, for me, so the funny thing is, like, all the awards races seem pretty cut and dry right now. It's like Mahomes is MVP, right?
Yeah.
Sean McVay is Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Khalil Mack's Defensive Player of the Year.
J.J. Watt's in the running. They have the same numbers. I think Khalil Mack would get it if it was between the two of them, but J.J. Watt is right there. He has the same number of fumbles, the same number of tackles. I mean, he's there.
Okay. But I think that's fair.
J.J. Watt's only 29.
I think the Bears being 3-1 is a much bigger deal because they're way ahead of schedule right now.
I should have said this.
I personally disagree with like team record playing into.
No, but it's not team record. He made that entire defense better.
Yeah.
Overnight. And it's not
that defense has actually had pieces before he got there. The important part is he's the backbone of that defense right now.
And he's put it together. The defense is around him now, and it works. It was great individually. There were great players. Trevathan, Prince.
Umukamara.
Yes, and they were great, but they weren't gelling until
Also got
Khalil was
Roquan.
there. Yeah, and Roquan, and then Khalil comes, and that defense is solid.
Yeah, they're really
And
good.
that's not because they got one good player. It's they got a player who can lead them like that. So
So I don't know. I guess I
would agree. Khalil's getting it.
if I'm agreeing with the media and looking at it from their perspective, I'm probably going with Khalil.
Yeah. I agree.
Let's see what else.
Rookie?
Any of the important awards? Rookie of the
Rookie of the
year.
year.
Comeback player of the year too.
Rookie. Let's do rookie and then come back.
Rookie of the year.
Probably Baker. I mean, if he continues good output, I think Baker is up
No,
there.
Denzel Ward.
He's not gonna get it.
He's my rookie of the year right now, though.
He's your rookie of the year, but he's not gonna get it.
Okay.
Saquon's doing good.
What about
But-
Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, actually, it's Calvin Ridley. It's not Denzel Ward. It's definitely Calvin Ridley. He has six TDs this year. That's
Man.
really good.
Honestly, I keep forgetting Calvin Ridley is a rookie,
He's on pace to break Randy Moss's single season record for receiving touchdowns,
and he's a rookie.
and he's a rookie.
I haven't watched enough Atlanta football, admittedly. They're a fun team, and I want.
Yeah, they are fun. They have two of the two best receivers Alabama's ever put out, maybe. Hypothetically, depending on, Ridley's projected to look like he's gonna be pretty good.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Whoa.
And what was the last one?
Comeback player of the
Comeback
year.
Player of the year.
Mine,
No, yeah,
Tannehill.
it's Tannehill. Yeah, it's obviously Tannehill. Sorry, it's the Eric Berry Award.
Oh yeah, Tannehill.
It's got to be Tannehill.
Yeah, 1,000%.
The Dolphins are 3-1, I think, right?
Yep.
And their only loss was the Patriots
Yeah.
in New England.
Yeah,
So
and Foxborough.
That's a pretty respectable loss.
that's a write off.
they got annihilated, but it's a pretty respectable loss. You're not going to look at that and be like, "Oh, this Dolphins team isn't legit."
Who did they beat before that? I mean, it wasn't stellar teams, I don't think. But
I'm not sure.
the Brewers are up 2 on the Rockies. I was
Ooh.
recording this.
We'll get to that later.
That sucks. But whatever. Gio's pitching. Good for him.
Shouts your boy.
Yeah, I like Gio. I mean, he deserved to go somewhere that was going to compete. Scherzer didn't. Scherzer's staying here, but whatever. Was it just going to look up? Oh, who the Dolphins beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't been paying attention to them. For some reason, I wasn't paying attention to the Dolphins. But now they're first in the AFC East, so I kind of got to pay attention. Yep. So they beat Tennessee week 1, and then New York, and then Oakland.
That's not exactly a murderer's row of
No.
good NFL teams.
Oakland's underrated.
I think Oakland's okay. I think Tennessee's the most underrated team there. Tennessee's 3-1 right now.
Yeah, Tennessee's good.
Yeah,
Their
okay,
only
that's
loss
fair.
is the Dolphins in week 1.
But Tannehill has the highest rushing yards versus Oakland in that game. That's funny.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that is funny. But they play Cincinnati, that stuff. They play Chicago, that stuff. They play Detroit. They should kill Detroit. Oh,
They're not
can we
gonna
talk
kill
about that
Cincinnati.
too?
Think they're
How
not gonna
Detroit
kill
is
Cincinnati.
terrible.
Yeah,
Detroit is
Detroit's pretty bad.
terrible.
Detroit's pretty bad. I feel
They're
bad
terrible.
about saying they're a fringe playoff team at the start of the year. Them and the Cowboys. I can't believe I
They
keep
had the
buying into
potential. They
that.
got the brand new coach. They had Stafford, who looks pretty good. They got LeGarrette Blunt, add some veteran
Kerryon
RB.
Johnson.
Yes, I mean they looked promised, and then
I
and then they lost to
forgot
the
that they had a
Jets.
ton of defensive problems.
They've beaten one team this season, right? They've beaten one
I
team.
don't even know who it is.
I know exactly who it was. It was the Patriots.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was the
Yeah.
Monday night game, right?
What a fluke! It was a Sunday night.
Oh, it
I
was a
think.
Sunday night game? Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was. And I mean, there's one reason why they beat New England. That's Patricia. You give me any other reason, you're wrong.
Okay.
I mean, Patricia knows how to read that team. He was that Patriots defense for a very long time, and he's probably one of the best defensive coaching minds in the NFL. Right? Yes. No.
I don't know if I'm going to agree with that because the Patriots defense struggled a lot during the latter years of his tenure.
Yeah. But
Tenure.
he also didn't get a lot of pieces. It wasn't fantastic.
I think he had some pretty quality players on it. It's just something about it wasn't clicking. I don't know what it was.
That's fair. I'd call him there, but whatever. Yeah. Are there any good games coming up? NFL, anything this
Yeah, Monday
week?
night we got Saints Washington Redskins versus New Orleans Saints.
That is a good game. That's an underrated game.
Isn't Sunday night Texans Dallas?
Oh,
Well,
that
that'll
is
be
not
fun.
a game I'm going to be watching.
I mean, I'll watch it because I'm a sucker.
I'm
But I'll
watching
watch
the
it.
Dallas Cowboys playing prime time.
Oh, LA's at Seattle. Murder. Minnesota at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
that's
That's a
a
nice
good one.
game.
Oakland at Chargers. That's good. That'll be good.
Maybe
It's a good matchup.
it's a competitive game. I don't know.
Oh,
if it's a good
Atlanta
game.
Pittsburgh. That's a lot of offense.
Atlanta Pittsburgh should be fun.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta might low-key just slaughter the Steelers.
Jacksonville, Kansas City. Oh my God.
That's a really nice game.
That's so stinking
That's
good.
the best defense Mahomes is going to play the entire year, probably, right?
Do they play the Rams? I mean, if they play the Rams,
You can look.
no. But if they don't play the Rams, yes, it's the best defense they'll play all year. Second best defense in the NFL. Eat that. It's true. But aside maybe the Bears, but they're good. But that game's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, Ramsey. Oh, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it should be a fun game. It'll be that to me is the real litmus test from Mahomes. You know, because there's like a pretty good amount of tape on him right now. They have a very good defensive coordinator in Jacksonville. They have a ton of talent.
Three
Yeah.
more good games too. Miami is at Cincinnati. Decent. Okay, here's a better way to put it. Has the potential to be
I
decent.
think Miami's gonna win that by like 10.
Whoa, I don't agree.
I'm not buying into Cincinnati.
Baltimore in Cleveland. Good game.
Maybe, hopefully, I hope so. I want that to be right.
Why wouldn't that be a good game?
I don't know. I don't think the Browns are there yet. I want that to be good, but I feel like this is the thing is Joe Flacco's playing out of his mind. He hasn't played this good since the playoff run when 2012.
Well, and the defense is clicking real well. But I think Cleveland. Have you watched any Cleveland?
Yeah, I've watched Cleveland play. I thought they're going to be competitive at the start of the year.
They were competitive. They've been competitive.
Yeah, I know. And I was right about that.
They have not been involved in a blowout. Not even close. Not even close to a blowout. That's a fact.
I'm just saying.
Every game's been close, and they've played some pretty tough teams.
This is the best defense they'll played.
Huh?
This is going to be the best defense they've played this
Oh
year,
yeah,
right?
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I'm not sure Baker's ready for that, and I think that's the biggest problem.
Wait, where was that other game? I had another good game. Now it was only 2. I just can't count.
Cool.
Chicago and Tampa Bay are on a bye.
Thank God. You don't have to do any more of this. After this, we don't have to talk about this Ryan Fitzpatrick or Jameis Winston thing anymore, right? We're just done with this?
Well, yeah, because it got decided. We don't have any say anymore.
Yeah, but
We had a big say when it first
do
started.
you think
so-
it's right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Grayson, you can agree with that? You think they should start Jameis, or you think they should stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick?
After Fitzpatrick's last game, you can start Jameis.
Fitzpatrick was on a short lease, and for a good reason. He was playing out of his mind until he wasn't, and that's fine.
You really think he was on a short leash after the first 3 games?
It's like, if you really screw this up, like getting under 100 yards and a half, yeah. Putting up, how many points did they put up? 3? I think it was 3 points.
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Jameis is the future until, somebody else is throwing over 400 yards a game per game. I mean, how is that not an exception, Ricky? How is that not an
I
exception?
don't know. It just doesn't feel sustainable, especially if it's
It
Ryan
doesn't have to be
Fitzpatrick.
sustainable. It works when it works, and that's
Wait.
fine.
No, the whole point is you want your franchise to be sustainable, right?
No, you want to win games.
Yeah, okay, so that's my point. So what?
I think you're on the wrong side of this, man.
Nah.
Grayson?
I mean, yeah, when it was working, it was working.
Yeah, so, like, I agree. You want to win games, right?
The
But,
biggest thing I wanted to see is I wanted Tampa Bay to have an option. Like, I wish Fitzpatrick still came off another 400-yard game, and they had to make an option to choose between Jameis or Fitzpatrick. He made the decision pretty easy with his last game. But had Jameis not been suspended, he would have started anyway. But
Yeah.
I wanted to see Fitzpatrick playing out of his mind when Jameis came back. That would have made the decision harder, but it was a pretty easy decision.
Okay, so like going back out to what Austin said. So you if someone throwing for 400 yards every game and like 3 touchdowns or whatever, you start them, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, almost every time, yeah.
Okay, so if Jameis gets injured or something near the end of the year and you don't have Fitzpatrick on your team anymore and you get some Matt Flynn looking type dude who comes in and throws for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns at the end of the year, do you start him going into next year?
No,
But why?
because there's that gap. What? I don't see how they're comparable situations.
So the thing is, like,
I mean, if he
Now-
plays out of his mind in the preseason, yeah, you'd think about starting him. But if he doesn't, I mean, is he playing out of his mind in this hypothetical? Is he playing out of his
Yeah,
mind in
sure.
the preseason? Yeah, then you start him.
over Jameis, but Jameis is the future of the franchise.
Yeah, if he's playing out of his mind,
If it's
You
some
play
journeyman dude who's like a 33-year-old vet,
who's throwing for 500 yards a game,
and
yeah,
he
you
has a
start him.
history of being bad.
Yeah, you start him. If he's thrown, that's a huge sample size.
So
8
what,
games
you
in
just
the
run-
NFL is a large sample size.
How many?
8. 4 preseason. You said 4 final games of the year. That's
No,
8
like one
games.
game. Just the last game of the year. He throws for 500 yards. You
Oh.
come and you keep him on the team. He does pretty well in preseason. Maybe he throws for 400 yards or something. Preseason doesn't matter anyway, so I wouldn't even care about that. But would you start in week 1? Do you just keep doing this every year?
Oh.
Is that sustainable? That's
no,
the problem.
But that's not what happened.
Well, yeah, but the problem is you say you keep doing this if you're a GM, right? You just keep rolling with the hot hand, and there's no sustainability, there's no consistency.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you would do that. I think this is a different case where he threw for 400 yards in 3 games in a row.
Cool.
You're building a straw man.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am, but I would not have started Ryan Fitzpatrick in week 4.
I think you're ridiculous.
It's Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's not that ridiculous.
But he has a beard.
I mean, that's nice and all, but
Yeah, it is nice. Have you seen it?
yeah, it's a nice beard. It doesn't make him any less of a consistently bad NFL QB.
Until he's not.
Yeah, and then he is
All
again.
right, we're done. We're done with this. We're done. I'm so sick of this. Quarter my. All right. You guys pick. What's next?
Baseball, right? There's nothing to talk about in basketball.
Not really, no.
Except this new shoe deal. This new shoe drama we got going on.
You want me to break the news?
Yes, we do. I want to
Yeah.
hear you describe
All
this,
right.
please.
So, everyone's new favorite NBA player, DeMarcus Cousins, recently allegedly agreed to terms with a lucrative multi-year deal with Puma, which is interesting because Puma's not really a big basketball brand. You know, they do a lot
They're
of
trying.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, this is obviously a huge step. So the interesting thing is that Boogie's technically still under contract with Nike, so Nike has the ability to match. This is sort of like making a qualifying offer to a restricted free agent. As for whether or not Boogie's gonna, Nike will actually match Boogie's deal is another thing. But it's just interesting because apparently, if Boogie was allowed to go to Puma by Nike, Golden State Warriors starting 5 would have 5 different shoe deals.
Wait. Name the 5.
I'm assuming there's Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Puma, and I don't know who the last player would be. Who's Draymond
I know
signed to?
Steph is definitely
Steph's Under Armour.
Under Armour.
KD's Nike.
Durant's Nike. Boogie would be
Boogie
Puma.
would be Puma. So I'm assuming Clay would probably be Adidas. And
Is Clay a member of Adidas?
I don't know.
Or not a
I
member,
guess he is. I just don't know who Draymond signed to. It's interesting. I don't know. That was just something I saw. I thought it'd be kind of neat.
That's worth a Google question.
Yeah, right. And I guess the other big NBA news is that the Miami Heat are actively engaging in trade talks with the Minnesota Timberwolves for acquiring Jimmy Butler, and Minnesota is basically not communicating with anyone else right now or fielding any other realistic offers. The trade doesn't look close to being completed, but
What is Anta? Klay Thompson signs a 10-year shoe deal with Anta.
is that a Chinese company?
I don't know. Very well could be.
We jinx. This is the
Interesting.
exact same thing. Aaron Judge.
That's still different than Puma, Nike, and Under Armour, though.
Yeah, that's
to
absolutely
be fair.
true.
Do some more research on Anta, please.
This
really
is what the
curious.
podcast is going to be about now,
I'm
right?
I'm
The
okay
show?
with turning it into a shoe podcast, even
Yeah.
though I hate shoes. I wear 2 pairs of shoes, and I change them like every 2 years.
They have like 3, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
2.5.
Yeah. Well, and all 3 of them are flip-flops.
Guy that came in with the sandals.
Klay Thompson is the background to Anta's website.
Nice. I mean, I'm assuming he's the most like notable client.
So
All right, whatever.
who is Anta? No. I'm really curious. We got like 21
I'll
minutes
find
to
it.
talk
Y'all
about
can-
baseball, so we're
You
good.
can start talking about something. I'll try to find it.
Talk about the Jimmy Butler to Miami thing a little
Yeah,
bit more.
I
I
want you to just go wild, man.
don't want to talk about
Does
this.
Rajon Rondo have a deal with Anta?
Yo,
Whoa,
Rondo, keep
really?
getting them checks.
Rondo, Luis Scola, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao, wow.
The senator.
Soccer, do you know him?
Xingji, no, Asian soccer player of the year. He plays in Chinese Super League a bit. This is a Chinese dude. This is a Chinese. They're all like mostly Chinese and
So
NBA.
we got
Pat
Klay
myself on the
Thompson,
back for that one.
Rajon Rondo, and Luis Scola.
Shout out
in
my
the
guy
NBA.
Luis Scola. I hadn't heard
mean,
of him
if-
since.
It's pretty.
2011
It's
or
pretty
something?
reasonable to think the Chinese, if number 1 they have enough money to pay to Klay Thompson, and number 2 we've never heard of them.
Clay's also huge in China.
He is.
Clay's a
He's one
very-
of like the top 3 biggest players in China.
Clay's really popular in China.
Who's the huge player in China?
Kobe.
No. There's another one that I'm thinking of that's a little weird. Oh. There was this. Is it Derrick Rose?
Yeah, I think so. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
Derrick Rose is
Derrick Rose.
massive
I
in
think
China.
Derrick Rose's jersey is like the top selling jersey in China right now, or something. Or shoes
No,
or something
Dwayne
like
Wade
that.
isn't Dwayne Wade also
Yeah,
really
Dwayne
big
Wade's
in
really
China?
popular. They made one of these Chinese.
But
teams made him, like,
Derrick
this-
Rose is
They
like
offered him a
super
deal.
He offered him
popular.
like a huge deal. That was a better deal.
Oh,
than
yeah,
he
it was
could play in
Geng
the
Zhao,
NBA,
right?
Really. Actually, no, I don't know if it was better, but he was gonna be like the highest paid Chinese basketball player if he agreed to it. That's pretty interesting. I don't know. The Jimmy Butler thing's weird because like the hardest part about it for Miami is trying to figure out a deal where they can move enough money to get him onto the team. And considering, like, if you look at their contracts, they have, I think, like 8 or 9 guys signed for $10 million plus a year, and some of them are like really not movable at all. Like Kelly Olynyk's making, I think, like $10.5 million a year or something. Josh Richardson's making 19. Hassan Whiteside's making like 25. I know that's a pretty terrible contract to try to take on.
So Anta was founded in 1994 in China, and it acquired Italian sportswear Fila's
Fila.
in
Wow.
2009.
Interesting.
2009, Anta acquired Italian sportswear Fila's China operations.
Nice.
Good job, Anta. Give me a shoe deal.
Yeah, honestly, they're doing a pretty good job. They got Klay Thompson signed.
And Luis Scola.
And Luis Scola, obviously. Scola's actually probably a big deal internationally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Like they got the European market locked down with Scola, I think.
And they got Pacquiao too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's definitely. I wonder what kind of shoes they like selling in the Philippines. Yeah, no, the Jimmy Butler thing's kind of weird because Miami has a lot of hard assets to move around, and they don't have that many picks left. But it looks like they're trying to contend since they don't have that many picks, and they have like all these players signed.
How would they possibly contend?
What?
How would they possibly contend with those 2 teams in the West? Contend for what? This is what I don't get about basketball.
What do you mean? Like Miami trying to contend?
Yeah. What are they contending for?
They're contending for a slot in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's a not unrealistic outcome.
I think that's a jump.
I would listen. What am I going to sit here and say Miami's the favorite to make it? No, but I'm going to sit here and say that a team with best case scenario, if they get like 2016 Hassan Whiteside, they get Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade out on a revenge tour.
Now, do you say that if Josh Richardson is included in the trade?
No, that's the thing is Josh Richardson has to get traded if Jimmy Butler is going to Miami, basically, because he's the only like really redeemable asset that Miami has right now. Because everything else is basically just moving money, and Minnesota's like we kind of don't need to take on more money, right? Like we were trying to ditch Corby Dang's contract and part of the deal. So it's a really rough trade. Like there's going to be a third player is basically required for this. I don't know who that's going to be. There was talk about that being Phoenix earlier, and Phoenix may be looking to pick up a point guard from that. Like I guess they'd be a reasonable landing location for Jeff Teague if he needed to get moved to make contract money work. And that would probably make Phoenix. Phoenix might be the 8th seed in the West if they get Jeff Teague in that trade. But
That'd be fun. I would like that.
yeah, no, they'd be nice. I don't know. I kind of don't want Phoenix to trade for a point guard. I kind of want them to get weird with their lineups. But that's a
D-Book.
Yeah, I don't know. I want them to get a little wild. Maybe if
DeAndre Ayton, point guard.
I don't know about that one. He's got Joel Embiid ambitions out here.
you
No,
said
I
get
think we
weird.
should do it.
No, I mean, I say get weird, but like
Positionless basketball.
get like realistically weird, you know? Like
Okay.
the people-
Reasonably weird.
Yeah.
the people who know how to handle the ball and try to attack the perimeter and drive.
You're trying to tell me you don't want to see DeAndre Ayton pulling up from 30? I would love
I
that.
mean, listen, I think that'd be hilarious, but it's not something I particularly want to see if I want to watch good
Listen,
basketball.
Adam Silver, DeAndre Ayton, Joel Embiid, skills competition, All-Star weekend, book it.
JoJo would torch him.
That'd be fun, though.
JoJo would annihilate him.
Little did you know Adam listens to this. We're on a first name basis even.
Wow. Adam and Austin, double A.
What was Adam Silver doing before he was in the NBA?
Being a
Lawyer.
VP commission in the NBA.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the one who announced the second round picks in the draft while David Stern was
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Counting his money. Was it Gary Bettman who did something?
I want to
weird
move on to
before?
baseball now. Basketball's pretty tried right now. They're starting preseason. Regular season's coming around. We're gonna get there pretty soon.
I'm gonna figure out what I'm trying to look for.
There's not much
and
right
I'll,
now.
I'll say that interesting fact when I.
Yeah, baseball, though. Kind of
for it.
slow night last night. Not much happened.
Yeah, honestly, it's
Um,
kind of weird that they had a 1-day layoff when there was like another wild card game to play. I think.
But the in-out wildcard game, that was fun.
I mean, I don't know if fun is the word I would use. It was interesting, that's for sure. But
It's kind of stressful.
I would use the word long.
It was a little long. It was a little bit 4.5 hours long.
Oh yeah, it was Gary.
But the thing is, that's like the length of a football game, but it's just
It's like
baseball.
a bad football game. Like if it goes in overtime, we're gonna get into like the 4.5 hour territory.
I got it.
But yeah, it's less unreasonable for football.
Gary Bettman.
Who?
He was third in command of the NBA for a while in the 80s.
Gary Bettman was?
Yeah, I knew it was somebody weird.
Why do
Interesting.
you have to come to hockey?
Well, he grew the game like exponentially.
Yeah, you know.
As much as you hate the guy, I mean, he just like he's a pawn for the owners, which is what they want. And he's added what 6 or 7 teams.
And he probably has weekly dinners with Sidney Crosby at his mansion.
Mm-hmm. So
What a scumbag.
Ugh.
Gary Bettman is a scumbag, but only because he needs to be a scumbag. So I'm not a Gary Bettman apologist or anything like that, but he's good at what he does.
He's an
So,
opportunistic.
I mean,
Austin calls him an opportunistic scumbag.
I'm not calling him a scumbag, but I'm also not calling him a scumbag.
All right. Baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the Yankees blasted the A's back into the offseason, which is pretty unfortunate. I was kind of excited to see what Oakland could do considering they're a smaller market. I think their payroll is about $50 million.
No, there's no way that's right. I'm calling BS on that. Let me look.
It's, I mean, I know Oakland's a small market. I know they historically haven't like spent that much money on their rosters, but that was just something I saw floating around on Twitter. I don't know how accurate that is. I think it's pretty small though.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
nowhere close to the Yankees,
I
obviously.
mean, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that game was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, Aaron Judge hit the home run in the bottom of the first, 2 runs. That's the end of the game.
Yep.
See you guys later.
Yep. Severino got out of the first. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Jake called it after Severino got out of the top of the first with no runs allowed. He was like, all right, we're done here. And I'm like, he could be right. Then Aaron Judge hit the home run, and he was definitely right.
Going back to whether or not he should or should not have started, now in the situation they are in, starting a series against Boston, I think this is when Severino should start. Not necessarily that he would have done bad in the wildcard game. He obviously pitched well last
I
night.
mean, that's
Little
the thing.
bit.
It's like, but no. So here's the problem with that. You want your best chance to win the wild card game, right? Otherwise, you don't care about the series against Boston because it maybe doesn't happen. So, in a perfect world, you can get Severino for the wild card game and then for the series against Boston because you want him to pitch as many times as you can. You want him to pitch game 1 and game 5 if it gets there. But in order to get there, you're gonna make sure you beat the A's. And if you think Severino gives you your best chance of beating the A's, you got to start him.
Yeah, I see that. It makes sense. I just think they had more wiggle room though playing the A's in New York.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that risk. The A's came in really hot, dude.
But I mean, how big of a risk are you taking though if you start like a Tanaka or a Happ?
It's Chris Davis is literally might single-handedly annihilate your entire franchise.
I mean, it's true. I love Crush, but no.
I don't know. Starting Severino is the correct choice. I think anything else is taking unnecessary risks and just being like obscenely greedy.
Because I mean, there was still that thought in the back of the mind that starting Severino could have been a risk, too.
Yeah, no, that's the thing though. It's like we look at baseball is weird because we look at like postseason performance and for pitchers is like this really weird thing, right? Where it's like, oh, Chris Sale has this history of choking in the postseason.
Clayton Kershaw's history of pitching poorly in the postseason.
That's the thing is like, how do we define the parameters of choking? Like, what's Chris Sale made like 3 postseason starts in his career or something?
Yeah, so it's really
and the sample
weird.
sizes are like pathetically tiny. So
and then you have the guys like Justin Verlander who pitch really well in the regular season and then pitch godly in the postseason.
I don't know. It's just it's weird. Like October builds legends for baseball players, right? That's
Yeah,
basically
absolutely.
what it is. And the problem is it also builds the opposite of legends, like nightmares for players.
Did some research. The Oakland A's opening day payroll. I couldn't find the payroll from last night. Was let's put in perspective. Boston Red Sox 235 million.
Yeah,
That's a little bit of money.
it's a little bit.
The Nats are really high, 181. Chicago is right there. LA is pretty close.
Yankees.
Oakland A's, $68.53 million was their payroll.
And you thought 50 was like too low, right?
Wow.
50 is obviously too low, but
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, let's see who Milwaukee's pretty low too, 90.2. Although it's gonna be
90.2 and they're 25 million over the A's.
Yeah, I mean they made some good moves, so I think that payroll is probably a lot higher now. But Atlanta's the next highest team to make the playoffs, and they're still 120.
Yeah.
And after
Anyway,
that,
so shout out Oakland making the wild card with a $65 million opening day payroll.
It's impressive.
They had, 92 wins? I mean,
Billy Beane would be really proud.
that was a good year. And they're not done. I don't think this was like a 1 year thing like the Twins. I think
I hope it's not.
I think they can come. I mean, are they going to come out and win the AL West? No.
No.
But can they get another wild card spot next year? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% they could.
If they play like this.
Actually, no, because one of the things, so the Mariners might actually take that spot from them because they're going to get a Cano back theoretically healthy for the entire year next year.
Well,
right?
the Mariners were in contention for a while this season.
Yeah,
They-
so
they-
that's what I'm
a good
saying. Is
while.
when Cano went out, that was the end of the Mariners season. So they could maybe take the A's spot next year if the A's don't do enough.
Yeah, I mean, I
Anyway.
guess the Angels could too. I mean, whoever can take it.
Yeah.
So could Baltimore. You know,
I don't know about that one.
I think it's true.
Turn those losses
All right.
into wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
If
have
only they could flip.
Red Sox. All the other matchups are sent. We got Red Sox, Yankees in the first round, ALDS.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be some 5-game series. Joe Kelly needs to start in like game 3, right?
Sure.
He might be in the bullpen.
Let's start him. Screw it. That'd be a really good meme.
I mean, but not in game 3, though, when you have Chris Sale, David Price, and Rick Porcello.
Well, yeah, but you're going to be in New York for it. No, obviously you don't start Kelly. You don't unless you I don't know. Maybe you do start Kelly. Unless he's in the bullpen, then you don't start him. Obviously.
Okay.
Well, either way, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Boston has the pitching edge, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. The Yankees starting rotation isn't that deep. It's more
But
like
the
the-
offense is both there.
Yeah, the offense is just stupid, dude.
yeah.
Like, looking at JD and Mookie and then Judge and Stanton.
What's
Ugh.
the over under for runs scored a game? Like 11.5.
I said, what's the over-under for
mean-
fights in the series?
Fights in a series. Jeez.
I am so excited. I mean, we were talking to Mello about this earlier. How this it's a very historic rivalry, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's not very hot right now. It's pretty tamed.
Yeah.
But
For the
this
most part, yeah.
this series has a chance to kind of reignite that and make it
Yeah,
a little
I
more
mean-
heated, which is very, very exciting.
Pitching Joe Kelly at Yankee Stadium would be a pretty good way to,
Oh
spice it up a little bit.
Because
Dirty.
Tyler Austin, that fight was this year, right?
Yeah, that
Tyler
was this
Austin,
year.
Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
Tyler Austin no longer in New York. But
That's unfortunate. Do you think they could bring him back? Do you think they can make a waiver trade for him? Right, it's the postseason. You can definitely do that. That's not highly illegal or anything.
just get him in for
Is he a free agent?
Let's have them switch hats. You're
basically
good.
Twins, I believe.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Yeah, it really is to go from the Yankees to the Twins.
I mean, I don't think that part's particularly unlucky.
I mean, that
It's
part
mostly-
is unlucky.
I guess.
That like go from a playoff team to a not playoff team alone.
Hey, the Twins had 79 wins.
Yeah, but in that
78, my bad.
and they're in a poor division.
Yeah,
Just
that's the thing. Is
Cleveland is good.
it's just
A
Cleveland.
little bit.
It's funny. That divisional race is wild. Anyway, the other postseason matchups that we got.
Braves and Dodgers that starts tonight.
Yeah, we got Brewers Rockies on right now.
Rockies are down 2-0. Kristen Yelich hit a 2-run home run.
Oh, funny how nature do that.
And then Astros Indians.
Yep. Astros Indians, I think, might be the sneaky best series.
It's low key interesting. I still think Houston wins it.
Yeah, I think Houston definitely wins. I don't know. The Yankees. I don't know. I don't like the Yankees.
However, as I've said before, Cleveland has a really good top half of their rotation with guys like Kluber and Carrasco, and then you look at Clevenger. However, you look on the other side, and you're like, oh, let me just shell out Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, Dallas Keuchel. You're like, oh, well, darn.
Embarrassment of riches, like the
Stupid.
physical embodiment of it.
Yeah, and then
So stupid.
you look at just the offense that
Yeah, the Astros lineup
puts
is
out.
unreal.
Bregman is going to be the best player in the league one day.
I don't know about that one.
I'm standing by that.
all right,
Bregman's,
all right. I appreciate it.
Bregman's a monster.
Okay, sure.
And how old is he? Bregman is good.
You
Wish
say
Jake
so,
was
man.
here.
Yeah, Jake would know
Yeah,
that.
he would know that.
probably.
He wouldn't even think about it. He'd tell you before.
He's
you asked.
24.
He's 24. Wow. How old's Correa? Correa's like 25, right?
He is. That's not what I wanted.
Anyway, so Astros
I'm trying
Indians.
to. Astros win, but it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, you think it's 3-1?
Yeah, maybe 3-2.
Correa is also 24.
Correa's also 24.
Whoa,
Nice.
he's that young.
Astros are gonna be good for a while.
Yeah.
I really like the come up for the Astros because it really helped to popularize tanking. I
mean,
think.
Holy moly! Popularized. I don't know. I mean, look at baseball. A majority of the teams are tanking.
Yeah, I know, but this thing is the Cubs and the
Which is-
Astros are the ones that really started doing it and helped make it
They did it
a,
first.
like a more accepted strategy. Yeah,
but I don't think
it works. So that's the thing. Is that proof of concept that it works?
Yeah, but I mean, it was a lot of teams were doing it before they knew it worked. That's what I'm arguing.
I
'Cause
mean,
it's
yeah.
true.
Just look for the Cubs. It's like, what do they have to lose?
I mean, the Nats did it, but accidentally.
I think that's just called being bad. You know, you're an expansion team.
That's fine. No, they weren't an expansion team. Relocation.
Oh, right.
Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right to a certain extent. I think you might be overplaying it a tad, but
Maybe I don't know.
ultimately
This
you're
thing
right.
is back-to-back years. We did go Cubs, Astros, World Series champions.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just.
You know what it's
it's a
not
great-
going to be this year? Cubs. LOL.
Wow, really?
I'm so excited. I hate the Cubs so much.
I don't know what you're. Whatever, man.
What?
I get it, but I don't
hate-
know. Stop being so sour, Austin.
I'm sour towards the teams I hate and the teams I hate only.
Dog, appreciate that the Cubs are good and are going to be good for a while.
Sure.
They
Screw
have,
them, man.
they have a good manager. They have a very good front office. They got a lot of talent.
Hating sports teams is almost as fun as liking them. Is loving them.
Maybe if you're like some sadist who derives pleasure from the suffering of others.
I hate the Pens. I will never not hate the Pens.
That's fine.
It's a big part of my sports identity.
It's a big part of your personal identity, apparently.
Nah, I don't wear a shirt with it or anything, man.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean?
Didn't you
I
have a
don't.
phone background regarding it though?
Yeah,
Isn't
I
part
had
of
a
the reason you
couple.
love Gritty so much because he threatened to kill Iceberg?
yeah, that's the main reason.
That'd be awesome.
Well, it's also just because like every single mascot. I mean, and this is indicative of the Penguins. I could do this because Jake's not here. Every single mascot around the NHL was like, "Welcome, Gritty," and they retweeted him and like, "Welcome to Gritty," and then Pittsburgh was like, LOL, okay. So how fitting is it that number one it was Pittsburgh and number two Philadelphia, probably their second biggest rival,
Yeah.
threatened to kill them.
I mean, it works. That's pretty Philly.
That's the reason I like that.
All right, man.
It's a pretty good justification. I don't think you can argue with me. It's great.
That'd be a good fight.
Gritty and whom?
Iceberg.
No.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would just be fun to watch.
Well,
I mean,
Gritty-
Gritty would murder him.
Yeah, Gritty would bring Shiv.
Exactly, but I want to see that on center ice.
Center.
Center ice.
Yeah, I agree.
Pay-per-view mascot fight.
Absolutely. Where's Dana White?
Come on. We need Dana White on this phone and Bettman on this one.
Oh, man. We don't need to be doing this right now.
All right.
So, Colts Patriots tonight. Who you guys got?
Pats.
Pats.
Belichick's coming off that win. They need to get off this 2-2 thing. The Colts. Andrew Luck's.
Their defense is actually surprisingly good.
Yeah, and Andrew Luck looks all right.
They got a backup tight end, though, right now. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doyle's out. I'll take the
Wait,
Patriots.
did we talk about the Atlanta series? I blanked for a while.
Oh, with the Braves?
Not really, but it's 6:58.
Quick, who do you think's gonna win?
Who are the Braves playing again?
Dodgers.
Dude.
Dodgers? Yeah. I'll take LA. I'll take experience over talent.
Dodgers.
I'm taking the Braves.
I mean, listen, I think that's valid.
I know. I genuinely think
Yeah,
this.
I mean,
think the Dodgers
It's
showed.
not out of the question.
I think the Dodgers showed how they look in that wild card game, and I think the
Play-in
Braves. Sorry, the playoff game. Yeah. And then I think the Braves
Or cup game.
really want this.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're young. I'm assuming they're hungry. They haven't
Oh,
achieved
man.
anything. The Braves as an organization haven't had a playoff win since.
2001
That's a
playoff
while
series
ago.
win. They
Playoff
got a
series.
Playoff series win. Yeah. That's a while.
Guess who that's more recent than?
National.
Yeah.
Because I've never done it.
Go
But still, I
DC.
mean, yeah. I
Paying the
mean,
sports tax.
you're right. Sports
We got-
tax.
We had a quick NASCAR fact.
Retroactively.
I do
Okay,
have-
yeah. NASCAR fact. Close.
Okay, so recently, like a couple days ago, NASCAR they came out with a new rules package for next year, and part of it is lowering the horsepower of the cars from like 750 to 550 to
Oh.
promote passing
Okay.
rather than follow the leader.
That's
Which-
actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
which makes it even more interesting that they're lowering the speeds, and the highest speed ever recorded in NASCAR was 212.809 miles an hour in the year 1987. And the fact that that's probably never going to be matched unless they make a significant rules change is pretty interesting. Because you think about sports progressing, we're going to have this top speed record that is now coming on over 30 years old. That is no sign of being broken in the near future.
Interesting. That's not a progression. It's not a regression. It's just an evolution.
It's just a development.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
if I were to
sport.
say, the top speed is this, when do you think that was set? You're probably not going to say, I bet that was set in 1987.
That's true.
It's like the
yeah.
world. That's like the world scoring 100 points in a game stuff. Some of the records like this in sports are just from bygone eras.
I mean, Gretzky's point record.
It's out of the
I
stratosphere.
think that's maybe the best example.
That's actually mildly recently though.
Yeah, but of a bygone era. Do you
Yeah.
realize how
Yeah, no.
significantly scoring dropped in 97?
No.
Like, you can point to that year and be like, oh my God, there are like no goals ever.
Yeah, there's no longer a show here.
All right, we gotta cut it off. We're going over. We started a minute late, so it's not good. All right, it's not that bad. I won't be here next week. I'm gonna be out of the country for a hot minute.
Grace
gonna be
running
a
the show.
Best show today.
Yeah, it will be. Oh my God, I'll
gonna
still be bogging. No more hockey.
Yeah,
It's gonna be wonderful.
can't wait.
All right.
Feel better, Jake.
Yeah, feel better, Jake. Thanks for ditching us.